By the authority vested in me, I declare this inauguration complete.
The Luna Inauguration Gala was perfect. 200 guests in designer gowns, crystal chandeliers catching the light. Kael stood at the altar with his arm around Serena, his beautiful, pedigreed ex-girlfriend, about to officially claim her as his Luna. He'd won. The pathetic Omega Maid who'd funded his lifestyle for 3 years was gone, and tonight he'd finally have the mate he deserved. Serena smiled up at him. The officiant raised his hands. "Do you, Kael Thorne, accept?" The ballroom doors exploded inward. 20 royal heralds in black armor marched through. The lead herald's voice boomed across the silent room. "This property is seized by order of King Valerius, High King of the Lycan realm. All occupants have 30 minutes to vacate." Kael laughed, nervous but loud. "You've got the wrong address, boys. This is my pack house, paid in full." The herald didn't smile. "Paid with embezzled funds from the keeper of the tithe. The debt is called. The land is forfeit." "The keeper?" Kael's face went white. "That's a myth. The tithe keepers died out 20 years ago." "Did they?" She walked through the doors, but this wasn't the Lyra they knew. The trembling Omega in second-hand clothes who'd served them drinks last week. This woman wore midnight silk that cost more than Kael's entire wardrobe. Diamonds glittered at her throat. Her hair, always pulled back in that sad little bun, now fell in glossy waves over her shoulders. And beside her, towering and magnificent in royal regalia, walked King Valerius himself. Kael's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Lyra smiled. It wasn't kind. "Hello, Kael. Enjoying the house?" "I hope so. It's your last night owning it." 3 weeks earlier, Lyra scrubbed the kitchen floor on her hands and knees while Kael's friends laughed in the next room. She'd been doing this for 3 years, playing the role of the weak, orphaned Omega who was so grateful her fated mate had taken her in despite her low status. What they didn't know? She was playing a much longer game. Kael's voice drifted from the living room, loud and proud. "Honestly, guys, it's the perfect setup. She works those remote human jobs, customer service, data entry, whatever, and funnels every paycheck to me. I don't even have to ask anymore." One of his friends whistled. "And she just does it? Doesn't complain? Are you kidding? She's terrified I'll reject her. Omegas like her don't get second chances." Kael laughed. "I call her my maid with benefits. She cooks, cleans, pays the bills, and I don't even have to mark her. It's genius." The room erupted in laughter. Lyra's hands stilled on the floor, her jaw clenched. Not with hurt, she was past hurt. With satisfaction. He'd just said it out loud. Witnesses. Perfect. She pulled out her phone, still recording in her apron pocket. 3 years of evidence. Documented, time-stamped, ironclad. She stood, smoothing her worn dress, and carried a tray of drinks into the living room. Kael didn't even look up. "Took you long enough. My friends are thirsty." She set the tray down carefully. As she leaned over, she caught sight of Kael's smartwatch on the coffee table. A text notification glowed on the screen. "Serena, can't wait for tonight, baby. I'll be ready for you. No underwear. Just like you like." Lyra's eyes flicked to Kael. He was grinning at his phone, typing back. She straightened, set down the last glass, and smiled. Enjoy the drinks, gentlemen. And Kael? She met his eyes for the first time in months. Really met them. Enjoy the house. It's the last night. You'll own it. Kael blinked. What? But she was already walking away, out of the kitchen, up the stairs, into the bedroom they'd never actually shared. She pulled a single black duffel bag from under the bed, packed in under 3 minutes. She'd practiced. All her real documents were in a safety deposit box anyway. She made one call. 2 words. I'm ready. Then she walked down the stairs, past Kael and his confused friends, and out the front door. A motorcade of 20 black luxury vehicles sat in the driveway. Guards in formal black armor stood at attention. The rear door of the center car opened. Lyra dropped the duffel bag, pulled the elastic from her hair, and let it fall. Unbuttoned the ugly grey dress and let it pool at her feet, revealing the designer travel outfit underneath. She stepped into the car. As the door closed, she pulled out a laminated ID card. Sable Greythorn, Omega Clearance. She held it to the window so Kael, now standing on the porch, staring, could see. Then she lit it on fire with the car's cigarette lighter and dropped it in the ashtray. The motorcade pulled away. Kael ran after them, screaming, Lyra! Lyra! Where the hell do you think you're going? But she didn't look back. The royal court of the Lycan High King was everything Kael's shabby pack house wasn't. Soaring ceilings, ancient tapestries, guards who actually looked dangerous instead of decorative. Lyra walked through the halls in her travel clothes, flanked by royal guards, and felt something she hadn't felt in 3 years. Relief. The throne room doors opened. King Valerius stood from his throne. He was not what she'd expected. Tall, yes, over 6.5 feet of raw power. But his eyes weren't cold. They were searching. Desperate, even. You came. His voice was rough with emotion. After 9 years, you finally came. Lyra stopped 10 feet away, cautious. She'd learned not to trust powerful men. You said the treaty would collapse without the Keeper's seal. People would die. I couldn't let that happen. It's more than the treaty. Valerius descended the steps slowly, like she was a wild animal he didn't want to spook. The Keeper isn't just a title. It's a bloodline. And the High King's fated mate is always... He stopped 3 feet away, close enough that she could feel the pull. It wasn't like the weak, obligatory bond she'd felt with Kael. This was gravity. Inevitability. Ancient magic recognizing ancient magic. Her breath caught. Valerius extended his hand. May I? She hesitated, then placed her hand in his. Light exploded between them. Gold and silver, intertwining, burning up their arms. On the wall behind the throne, a crest materialized. The mark of the Tithe Keepers, a scale balanced on a wolf's head. The crest that hadn't been seen in 20 years, since her parents were murdered. Lyra gasped. Valerius caught her as her knees buckled, steadying her with hands that were gentle despite their strength. I know what happened to them, he said quietly. Your parents, the coup. I've been searching for you since I took the throne 9 years ago. I knew the Keeper's line couldn't be broken. I knew you were out there, hiding. I was surviving. Her voice cracked. After they killed my parents and burned our estate, I was 12 years old with nothing. I took a fake ID, hid my scent, became nobody. You were never nobody. Valerius cupped her face. You are the keeper. Every deed, every territory, every treaty in the Lycan world exists because your family allows it. Without your seal, we have nothing. We are nothing. And Kael? The name tasted like ash. Kael's pack? Bankrupt. They've been running on loans from the Crown for 5 years. Loans your father issued before he died. Valerius's eyes hardened. When Kael found you, he didn't know what you were. He just knew you worked hard and didn't complain. He used you. I know. Lyra pulled back, standing on her own. I've known for 6 months, since I found the texts, since I realized he was funneling my salary, she laughed bitterly, my trust fund distributions to his ex-girlfriend. Valerius's jaw clenched. You stayed. I stayed because I needed him to spend exactly $150,000 of my money. That's the threshold for predatory lending under Lycan law. Once he crossed it, the debt transferred from him to his pack. And his pack's collateral? She smiled coldly. Everything they own, including the land. You set a trap. I set justice. Her eyes blazed. He called me useful. He was right. I used him to find out exactly how cruel people can be when they think you're powerless. And then I took everything. Valerius stared at her. Then slowly he smiled. It was fierce and proud. You're terrifying. I think I'm in love. Despite herself, Lyra laughed. Real laughter. The first in 3 years. She spent 3 years being called worthless. Now she's a queen. Think Kael's about to get what he deserves? Hit that subscribe button right now, because the revenge is just getting started. Over the next 2 weeks, Lyra and Valerius planned. Not just the gala crash, though that would be satisfying, but the complete legal dismantling of Kael's pack. In the palace library, Lyra spread out documents across the table. Bank statements, property deeds, loan agreements. Here, she pointed. Kael refinanced the pack house 8 months ago, used my salary as proof of income. But it wasn't a salary, it was trust fund distributions. Fraud. Valerius leaned over her shoulder, reading. And this? A loan to his ex-girlfriend's boutique, $50,000, from pack funds, which means pack members' money went to his side piece's shopping habit. The pack council doesn't know. Kael controls the council, his beta, his friends, all loyal to him. Lyra's finger traced another line. But Lycan law says if an alpha commits fraud, the pack can vote no confidence. We just need evidence. You have it. Valerius gestured at the mountain of paperwork. I have it now, but I didn't just want to ruin him financially. Lyra looked up and her eyes were hard. I wanted to make sure everyone who watched him humiliate me got to watch him fall. The memories came in flashes. Kael making her crawl across the dining room floor to pick up a fork he'd deliberately dropped. His friends laughing. Serena throwing red wine in her face at a pack gathering, calling it an accident, while Kael smirked. Him telling a room full of alphas that she was so grateful he let her stay. She'd do anything. The implication clear. Her sleeping on the floor of the spare room because he said the bed was for real mates, not charity cases. 3 years of small cruelties, death by 1,000 cuts. Lyra's hands trembled slightly on the documents. Valerius covered them with his own. You don't have to see him again. I can have the heralds deliver the eviction notice. You never have to face him. No. Lyra's voice was steel. I need to be there. I need him to see exactly what he lost. Not for revenge. She met Valerius's eyes. For closure. I need to close the door on the girl who thought she was worthless, and open it for the woman I actually am. Valerius studied her face, then nodded. Then we do it your way. The gala is in 3 days. He's announcing Serena as his Luna. Perfect, Lyra smiled. Let's ruin his perfect night. The night before the gala, Lyra stood in the palace dressing room while royal attendants fitted her gown. Midnight blue silk that cost more than Kael's car. Diamonds that had belonged to the last Keeper Queen. Hair styled in elaborate braids that took 2 hours. She looked in the mirror and didn't recognize herself. No, that was wrong. She recognized herself for the first time in 3 years. Valerius appeared in the doorway, stopped, stared. You look expensive? Lyra turned and the dress moved like water, like a queen. He stepped closer. Are you ready for this? I've been ready since the day he called me useful. She picked up the folder of documents, her ammunition. Let's go return the favor. The Luna Inauguration Gala was everything Kael had wanted. Expensive, exclusive, proof that he'd moved up in the world. He stood at the altar in a custom tuxedo, paid for with Lyra's money, though he didn't know that, with Serena glowing beside him in white. The officiant raised his hands. Dearly beloved, we are gathered to witness the bonding of Alpha Kael Thorn and Luna Serena Blackwood. The heralds entered like an invading army. Kael's smile froze. The crowd turned. Whispers started like wildfire. This property is seized. Wrong address, Kael interrupted, laughing nervously. Seriously, guys, you've embarrassed yourselves. By order of King Valerius, in accordance with Lycan Law Statute 47, Section 12, predatory lending and fraud. The laughter died. Kael's beta pushed forward. There must be a mistake. Our finances are solid. We have income proof. From Sable Greythorn? The herald held up a document. The Omega employee who provided salary verification for your refinance? Yes. Kael grabbed onto that. See, we have documentation. Sable Greythorn doesn't exist. Silence. What? Kael's face went pale. The ID was fake. The employment records were falsified. And the money? The herald smiled coldly. Trust fund distributions from the Keeper of the Tithe, who you defrauded to the sum of $173,000. The crowd gasped. Kael shook his head. No, that's not... Lyra was nobody. An orphan. She didn't have... Didn't she? Lyra walked through the doors, and the room went dead silent. She looked like a myth come to life. Royalty and power and cold, beautiful fury. Beside her, King Valerius moved like a predator. His hand rested on her lower back, possessive, protective. Kael's eyes went wide. Then he laughed, high-pitched, desperate. Lyra, thank God you're here. There's been a huge misunderstanding. These people think... They think correctly. Her voice cut through his babbling like a knife. Hello, Kael. I see you're wearing the tuxedo I paid for. To marry the woman you bought a boutique for, with my money. Your money? He took a step forward. Valerius growled. Actually growled. Kael stopped. You worked customer service. You made $30,000 a year. I made $3 million a year. Trust fund distributions from my family's estate. Lyra pulled out a document. The Tithe Keeper Bloodline. You know, the family that owns the deed to every piece of Lycan territory in existence, including this pack house. The crowd's murmur became a roar. Kael shook his head. You're lying. The Tithe Keepers are dead. My parents are dead, murdered in a coup 20 years ago. Lyra's voice didn't waver. I survived, went into hiding, took a fake identity. And 3 years ago, I met my fated mate. You. Kael's face twisted. Then you belong to me. The mate bond. The mate bond you rejected every day for 3 years. Lyra stepped closer. Valerius let her, but his eyes promised murder if Kael so much as breathed wrong. You called me your maid. You made me sleep on the floor. You spent my money on your girlfriend and called me useful. I didn't know. You didn't care. She pulled out her phone, hit play. Kael's voice filled the ballroom. I call her my maid with benefits. She cooks, cleans, pays the bills, and I don't even have to mark her. It's genius. Laughter on the recording. His friends, his beta, all of them complicit. The crowd turned on him, disgusted faces, shocked whispers. Kael lunged forward. You recorded me. That's illegal. It's evidence. Valerius stepped between them. Of fraud, of abuse, and of gross negligence as an alpha. The Pack Council is already reviewing your removal. No! Kael's eyes blazed gold. I'm the alpha. This is my pack. You can't just... I can. Lyra held up a document with a golden seal. By right of the Tithe Keeper bloodline, I hereby call in all debts owed by the Thorn Pack to the Crown. Total sum, $4.7 million. Collateral, all lands, properties, and assets. She handed the document to the herald. The Thorn Pack is dissolved. The lands revert to Crown control. And you, Kael? She finally let herself smile. You're nobody, just like you said I was. Kael's face went from red to white to purple. The mate bond. You can't just... We're fated. You rejected that bond every day for 3 years. So now? Lyra looked him dead in the eyes. I accept your rejection. We're done. The mate bond shattered. It was visible, golden light fracturing like broken glass, dissolving into nothing. Kael gasped like he'd been punched, dropped to his knees. Lyra didn't even flinch. She turned to Valerius. He extended his hand. She took it, and where their skin touched, new light bloomed, gold and silver intertwining, burning bright. The true mate bond. The one written in magic and fate and ancient bloodlines. Valerius pulled her close and spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. Lyra of the Tithe Keeper line, fated mate of the High King. I claim you before these witnesses, not as property, as my equal, my queen. The crowd dropped to their knees, even Kael's former pack members. Serena fled, heels clicking on marble. Kael stayed on the floor, shaking. Lyra looked down at him one last time. You said I was useful. You were right. I used you to remember exactly what I'm worth. She leaned into Valerius. Turns out, everything. The guards moved forward, lifted Kael by the arms. Wait, he struggled. Lyra, please. I'm sorry, I didn't know. If I'd known, you'd have used me differently, she cut him off. But you still would have used me. That's who you are. Where am I supposed to go? You took everything. You'll figure it out. Her smile was cold. You're resourceful, remember? I'm sure you'll find someone else to leech off. The guards dragged him out. His screaming faded into the night. From maid to queen. From nobody to the woman who owns everything. If you're loving this revenge, smash that like button and drop a comment. What would you have said to Kael? 3 days later, Lyra stood on the palace balcony overlooking the Lycan capital. Her city now. Her kingdom. Valerius came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. She leaned back into him. Do you regret it? He asked quietly. The 3 years. Lyra thought about it. Really thought. No, she said finally. I needed to know what I was worth. Not because of my bloodline or my money or my title. Just me. And I needed to know what happens when people think you're worthless. So I'd never treat anyone that way. You're terrifyingly wise. I'm a good investment, she smiled. You should feel lucky. I do. He kissed her temple. Though I heard something interesting today. Apparently, Kael was spotted at the palace gates, begging for an audience. What did you do? Had the guards turn him away? I assumed you didn't want to see him. I don't, Lyra turned in his arms. He's part of a life I'm done with. The girl who loved him. She died 3 years ago. I'm someone new now. A queen. Your queen, she corrected. Kissed him, pulled back. Equal partner in all things? Equal partner in all things, he confirmed. Starting with the council meeting tomorrow. They want your input on the new territory treaties. My input, or my seal? Both. You are the keeper. Lyra looked out at the city again. Somewhere out there, Kael was struggling, broke, powerless, alone. She didn't feel satisfaction. She didn't feel guilt. She felt nothing. He was irrelevant. I wasn't born to be a maid, she said quietly. I was born to be a queen. It just took me a while to remember. Valerius pulled her closer, and I was born to be your king. Everything else was just killing time until I found you. They stood together, watching the city lights. 2 broken people who'd built a throne from ashes. 2 lost souls who'd found home in each other. A debt repaid, a balance restored, and a future that belonged to them alone. She walked away from the man who used her and walked into the arms of the king who chose her. This is what happens when you underestimate a queen. Want to see what happens when Kael tries to fight back? Subscribe now because part 2 is coming. And trust me, you don't want to miss the fallout. Like this video if you believe in justice. Comment and tell me, Team Valerius or Team Revenge? And share this with someone who needs to remember their worth. From the floor to the throne. That's the power of knowing exactly who you are.